All righty. Some reason I don't have the chat here. It's kind of weird. Let's see if I do this. It will give me. No difference. All right. Oh, 1 second. There we go. All right. Now we got the chat. Okay. Welcome to Tanya Today. I'm Rabbi Ronnie Fine, coming to you from Chabad Zurich and Kadeshim in Montreal, Canada, where it's a privilege and a pleasure to share with you the Tanya. I'd like to share today an appreciation of the worlds that are the four basic worlds and the divine attributes in them as they are expressing creation or part of creation. So we have the Ein Sof. Ein Sof means the infinite of God that is beyond any kind of definition, no parameters. And, say anything about it? Nothing. But God could have created the world because obviously he's omnipotent, so he can do whatever he wants. He could create the world from his omnipotence, of his beyond any definition, obviously. But he chooses not to. He chooses to emanate from him a world called Itzilus, world of emanation, right? If you will, kind of like a person's aura. There's the person, then there's the aura of the person. So that the aura of God, if you will, kind of the extension of the person. And in that sense, it's an extension of God and it's one with God, that world. That's not sufficient in the process. In that process, though, the fact that there is a world that is the aura, if you will, of God, meaning the emanation of God, there's the emanator and the emanation. That emanation, being one with God, includes the divine attributes. Chabad, wisdom, understanding, and knowledge, so the divine wisdom, divine understanding, divine knowledge. Now, what does that mean exactly? If God is beyond any parameters, all of a sudden now there's a parameter, there's a definition called wisdom, even though it's divine wisdom. In other words, God's way beyond that. God, it's something that emanates from God. It's not of God. It's beyond, he's way beyond it. It's sometimes hard for us to fathom this idea. You get this, David? Well, God is beyond any definition, no parameters. Wisdom is a parameter. It's a definition. How can you say that about God? Even if it's divine wisdom. Right? There's not, you can't even say divine wisdom. That's a come down for God. It's a creation of God, if you will, or an emanation of God. It's not, he's infinitely beyond that. Now, we have a difficulty because we're bound by wisdom and understanding and knowledge, right? We're bound by our minds and our perception. God is bound by his perception? No. Can you even say there is perception by God? No. It's ludicrous. It means, right? Oh, you're going to say divine perception. You can't even put that boundary for God. But yet he makes that boundary for himself, so to speak. He brings himself into a limited definition called wisdom, kindness, right? God, this we can get a little more. You know why? What's the purpose of kindness? What's the purpose of kindness? Bestow kindness, bestow on others. Oh, so kindness presupposes there's another. Well, before there was a world, what was there? Just God. Does God need to be kind? No. I mean, where's kindness fit in? There's no place for kindness because there's no other. There's just him, right? Oh, so he brings himself down to the concept of kindness. Now, does he need to do that in order to create me? No. He could just create me from him. It doesn't need to be done through the quality, the attribute, the divine emotion of kindness. For me, I have to because that's part of my makeup, but it's not part of God's Ein Sof. He's beyond that. But yet, he emanated from him a quality called kindness. He doesn't have to make me out of kindness. He just make me because he made me, right? Now, let's say he made me that way, not from his kindness. We can't fathom that now, maybe. But what that would imply is, and if it was not through his wisdom that he made me, what that would say is that my only connection to God would be is he's my creator and he's beyond me. But God didn't want that. He wants to have a relationship with us. What does it mean to have a relationship with another person? You have to know that person. You have a relationship, you don't have a relationship, you know, with an ant. I don't mean your aunt, but A-N-T, right? How come? Because you're infinitely removed from them. You have nothing, between you, so to speak. So if God's infinitely removed from us, then what kind of relationship would we have for him? God wanted a relationship with us. Why? Just because he wanted. So, because in the end, our souls are a part of him. And he wants that relationship. So to have that relationship, there has to be something that you can relate to. Relationship means there's something relatable, right? Well, God is Ein Sof only, and that's how he created me. There would be nothing I could be relating to him. So therefore, God emanates from him, divine wisdom, divine kindness. And then he imbues my soul with those features, with those qualities. And he does that so that way I could understand what wisdom means in me. I could understand what kindness means in me. And I can note then that, oh, that comes from God's wisdom and his kindness, that I have a piece of that in me. Yes, his is infinitely greater than mine, but now I have something relatable. And from being relatable, that means I can have something I can understand about him and know about him. And when you understand a person and you know a person, what's that? The beginning of a relationship, right? Otherwise, if there's no understanding or appreciation of that person. You're not having a relationship with them. And you might do something for them, but either out of fear or but not out of connection. You need to perceive something about that person, to know something about that person in order to have the relationship. So God wants a relationship with us. So he creates these worlds, first the emanation of him, and in that world is the divine attributes, in order that that will allow us to have a relationship with him. That's what he wants. All right, folks. So use your mind, as we do in learning Tanya, to know God, and use your heart that you can then feel that a connection, and then go do a mitzvah. I'm Rabbi Ronnie Fine, coming to Chabad Zurich and Kadesh. It's a privilege and pleasure to share with you the Tanya. Have an amazing